Ladies and gentlemen, Nevada is a battleground state. It always goes 1 to 2%, 3%. It's always a state that is about 3% either Republican or Democrat in presidential contests. So you can look the past couple of years, it's been very close. Trump almost got it in 2016 and 2 years ago. Now, he had a speech today in Nevada. Nevada, in my humble view, will go Trump in 24. Here's why. Democrats like to talk about poverty and how they care about poor people. The poverty rate is around 14 to 15% in Nevada now. It hit a low of 12.5% in 2019 with Trump. Case closed. There's no rebuttal to that. We're in 2023 right now. We're going into 4 years of Biden. Okay? We also have the unemployment rate was at 4.2%. With Trump in 2019, it's now 5.4% in Nevada. Now, in 2023. Okay, this is a state, especially with Vegas, that relies a great deal on tourism and industry. If people don't have money, if inflation is cutting into people's paychecks, if real wages are down, poverty is up. Real wages were up under Trump and poverty was at its lowest. So we'll talk about his speech in a second, but Nevada's going to go, like, if it's Democrat or Republican, by 1 or 2 or 3 percentage points. You can go to 270 to win and see the history, every single presidential contest of Nevada. Now, Mitt Romney didn't really get close. Mitt Romney got, pretty much taken care of by President Obama. Trump is the only person who could battle and, get a state like Nevada. The thing with Trump is that if you have two types of democracy, if actual democracy takes place, it's all good. If the Bernie Sanders 2016 Democratic primary type of democracy takes place, then we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. So you have the poverty rate going up in the country and in Nevada. You have the unemployment rate better under Trump, poverty rate lower under Trump. People were making more money. Household median incomes were at record highs. Okay, which means they could go to Vegas or Atlantic City or whatever, but they can go to Vegas and enjoy themselves for the weekend or for the week. And so you have people in Las Vegas and you have people in Nevada, in Reno, and in other parts of the state that rely on a good economy. If you were in Nevada and you're voting Democrat, and you're wondering why the economy is, where it is, why people aren't spending as much money as they did in these places that rely on tourism, well, you're voting for policies that hurt your pocketbook. Okay, you could just look at the numbers. I'm not making it up. There is no rebuttal, by the way. Like, if you were to debate, actually, I suggest you don't debate, but if I'm going to ever debate a left-leaning pundit, simply say, look at the financial numbers. Look at the economy. We had a record low poverty with Trump. And we'll get to his speech in a second in Nevada today. He basically won the state with that speech. But hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. To read my writing on the Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. Become a member. To my Patreon, thank you. To the super thanks, thank you. But you look at the poverty rate, you can look at Statista.com, and Statista.com, if you look at the economic numbers, there are probably a great many people working there are liberal Democrats, but if you look at the numbers from Statista.com, I believe that's the way to pronounce it, everything dips in 2019 in terms of poverty and unemployment and goes way up. And you could say, well, that's because of Trump's handling of, what? Well, more people lost their lives under Biden's first year. Shutting down economic activity is what Democrats gleefully pushed for. They didn't have to do that, okay? That was a terrible mistake, and it cost more. It cost more to society than any benefit because people just flooded to Costco and grocery stores and liquor stores, which were all open. You weren't preventing anything. That's another story. So the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is unemployment rate lower. People had more disposable income. We had highest ever household income, and Trump's speech today was awesome. Talked about a whole bunch of societal issues. Talked about how warped and twisted society in certain respects has become, and how he's going to bring back sanity and normality. The issue with Trump is that this is what he has to do, or else he will not win. I think that he has a very good chance of regaining the Oval Office. You need Nevada. You need battleground states like Nevada. Every single electoral vote counts. But when you hear him speak, okay, and you're on the fence, you're going to gravitate towards Trump. He needs to have 20 interviews with Joe and Mika and the people at CNN and MSNBC. He needs to get on The View. What Trump needs to do is be as open in terms of dialogue, debate, discourse, discussion. Let all of the people who dislike him condemn and pontificate and preach and judge him in a public forum. There was a CNN town hall. He absolutely dominated. Okay, he gets indicted. His poll numbers go up. There's nothing they can do to stop Trump because you have mashed potato brains as president now, and it's like, okay, is the country better off? No, the country is not better off. Is the country better off? Are we better off economically? In terms of foreign policy, are we better off? No, we're not. And that's how you judge a president generally. You judge a president with the economy. It's the economy, stupid, and foreign policy. We're 90 seconds to midnight, according to the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. We are 90 seconds to midnight, ladies and gentlemen. That means that we're closer than ever to nuclear annihilation, according to the people that worry and are concerned about that possibility. Okay? This is Biden's foreign policy. You let a never-ending military conflict take place in Europe without any effort to end the quagmire. This is the issue that there's so much disingenuous talk on the left. Like, well, they were invaded. With Tim Pool and that pundit that he debated, well, they were invaded. Yes, and was it U.S. foreign policy to create a proxy war? Yes, it was under Biden, not under Trump. Okay, we are battling our adversaries through the country in Europe. It's not like the U.S. doesn't have a specific foreign policy objective. It's not like it's just, well, things happen and we have no objective or goals in mind. Okay, sometimes we allow or want things to take place in terms of foreign policy. This is what makes Democrats more militant and hawkish. Okay, they want the never-ending military conflict as a proxy battle against the Kremlin. They wanted this because you could have prevented this before it even started, and nobody benefits. If anything, you have a very bizarre, if anything, when it's all said and done, very likely our adversaries will benefit. And that's because of a very militant and hawkish foreign policy by Democrats. Again, it's Trump. When you look at Trump, the media creation that is 80 to 90% apoplectic media coverage, that turns off a lot of people. When you look at his foreign policy, when you look at his economic policy, you gravitate towards Trump and not towards the Democratic Party. Democrats generally nowadays are good at just pontificating, preaching, theatrical performances, yelling at people. There's one New York congressman famous for just yelling at Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay? Yelling things that make no sense. So he won't yell those things at the Secret Service. He won't yell those things at law enforcement. But he'll yell certain things at Marjorie Taylor Greene and say, oh, well, the Second Amendment causes this and that. It's like, well, then why do certain congresswomen and congressmen in the House of Representatives on the left, the Democratic Party, spend $30,000 a year or more on armed security guards? Maybe it's because that protects people. So it's like the mentality never leads to any. Okay, the Democratic viewpoint on a whole bunch of topics is completely removed from reality, especially in terms of the economy and foreign policy. Give me your thoughts below. Trump did amazing tonight in Nevada. Give me your thoughts.